There we go. All right.
Are we live?
We should be.
Are we live? Hello.
Did you change it to public?
I did.
Nice.
I did, indeed.
¿Cómo está, everyone? Happy Sunday of Fury to all of you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Horror Show podcast / live stream. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
I'm in Fuego here.
Where's the burger?
And we're here to do something. We're going to have a particular discussion, as you saw in the title. Recently, we actually finally released our Horror TV in 2017 panel from Phoenix Comic Con just about a couple of weeks ago. Knew that was coming. All right.
Kazoo tight.
And at one point, we did briefly discuss what each of us hadn't watched yet, but we wanted to.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get to dive that deep because we were, low on time and we had to move along and stuff. But today we're going to remedy that. We're going to talk in depth about the horror TV shows that each of us hasn't gotten a chance to see yet, or the ones that we want to see that we haven't gotten to see yet. There's a lot that we haven't seen, but not all of them do we want to watch. So we're going to be discussing. I'm going to try and move over a little bit. We're going to be discussing which of those shows we are wanting to get around to at some point. So, Marsha, why don't you lead us off with one of yours?
I still need to. I did watch the first season of the Strain, but I still need to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the way through. Like I have access to it. I just haven't got to it.
Yeah.
I did recently cross Bates Motel off my list, all except for the last season. So at least I got that out of the way. But I gotta get to the Strain.
Okay. I'll actually piggyback on that because I recently cut the cable cord about 6 months ago, and so I haven't been able to stay up on certain shows. One of them is The Strain. I was all the way caught up until this last season, so I was excited for the last season, but I haven't been able to watch because I don't have TV. So at some point I'll figure out a way to do it, and I will finish it out because I really dig the show.
Yeah.
So the last season was better than the two previous to it,
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's you said that you heard that it's not so good, Fuego?
There was just some people complaining about a particular character that they decided to focus upon in the last few episodes of the final season because the show is done now. And so, I don't know who that character is, but I've been curious about this since I saw Guillermo del Toro was co-writing a novel, and that it entailed vampirism, and I know there's comic books out that I've heard good stuff about too, so the property has been adapted in a lot of different ways, and I've seen, positive response for all of them. That's another one here on this lengthy list of stuff that I hope we get to jump onto. I'm actually going to piggyback on you then, man, and say that From Dusk Till Dawn is still a series that people have told me I need to watch because it's my favorite vampire movie ever, but the reason I've been hesitant to watch is because the sequel sucked. All those direct-to-videos that they did were terrible, and so, I don't know, Robert Rodriguez producing, I've heard some good things, it's essentially adapting in a much lengthier form. They took the Dragon Ball Z approach, and they decided to just, I don't know, take the source material and just expand upon it and milk every little bit and add in additional stuff.
Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, though. You said you didn't watch it because you didn't like the sequels, and yet you know that the first season was just the first movie stretched over a full season.
Yeah, but I mean, despite liking the story, I mean, the third From Dusk Till Dawn film, if you saw it, the direct-to-video one that was like in the West, it was essentially the exact same story.
Yeah, it was better than the second movie.
Well, it was a lot better than Texas Blood Money, which sucked and had the T-1000 in it. But the third one, I mean, I just feel like this would be another rehash of sorts.
Did he play as a T-1000?
Yeah. He had his cop uniform.
Robert Patrick.
No.
No, I just always refer to him as that. Even when he was on the X-Files, I referred to him as such. So
I actually...
Have you seen any of it? Any of you guys?
I did. I watched the first season. And I did not like the first season virtually at all. Because it was so blatantly just drawing out everything that was good in the first movie and making it worse.
Yeah.
And that was
trying to add some snake cult subplot, and the that '70s show. Was trying to play a badass snake guy, like
Valderrama.
yeah, Vilma Valderrama, and it just wasn't good. However, since the second season, I know has nothing to do with any of the movies or anything that we've seen before. I'm actually interested to go and see where it goes now that it's not just doing that with one of the movies. You know,
really?
what I mean?
Because I thought they eventually they get to the titty twister, and I thought
they did in the first season.
Really?
The whole first movie is the whole first season.
Well, maybe they go back or something, because I could have sworn that didn't Jake Busey play Sex Machine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was in the first season.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Damn. So okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, no. That
shows how little I paid attention to.
Yeah, the whole first movie was the whole first season. Literally right up until dawn. So. And
did they show the back of it being the Aztec?
I think so. Yeah, I think they did actually do that. But no,
it's a dark night.
It just wasn't that good. So anyway, Brittany, what's one of yours?
Penny Dreadful.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what I hear. Everybody says that.
Except for the end.
Really good.
Well, it's continuing as a comic book, and they have a trailer for that out right now. It continues right where it left off.
Yeah, I just got upset because I was so excited the last season because I was like, oh, this is going so well. Like they're opening up so many doors, and then they just shut all the doors, like that, and I'm like.
I wanted to know what was on the other side of that door.
I did want to know what was on the other side of those doors. I was so sad because I was like, man, this is getting really good. I love the concept of bringing those old Victorian monsters back and doing it in a really beautiful way and interesting storytelling and crazy acting. So
Ava Green. Wow.
Yeah, and then the guy who's now playing Mr. Mercedes, who is Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh, he's in that?
Yeah, he was Dr.
Shit.
Frankenstein.
I did not know he was on that
That's
show.
why I was so excited when I saw he was playing Hatsfield. Right?
Yeah,
Is it Bradley Hatsfield? No.
Renfield? What?
Hatsfield.
That's
From Mercedes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were still talking about Penny.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the same guy. He plays
I
the
thought
character,
I thought you were talking about the guy who actually played Hodges. I was like, he's on that show? But
No,
Harry
Hatsfield.
Treadaway, I believe his name is.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, it's definitely worth watching all the way to the end. It's just gonna...
What intrigues you about it? Or what about it intrigues you?
Either or.
No, well, from what I gathered, it was kind of like it could be in her head, but it might be real, and so I like when they do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Where it's got the psychological pull. It's always, I enjoy that. So.
Cool.
It's got an underrated James Bond in it that I've always thought was a pretty awesome actor. Yeah.
So...
I loved Penny Dreadful, yeah.
So the audience is saying had an American Horror Story come up, so whoever hasn't watched that needs to watch that. All of them.
Current season though.
I mean, I'm not just in the current season.
Yeah.
And then what else? Blood Drive is on here, which that is a good point because
yeah, I want to get back to that.
I haven't watched any of it. I have it all recorded. I haven't.
I didn't like the first
it.
episode, and it got canceled. So there you go.
Well, yeah, still could watch it.
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt is thrown in here.
Well, you guys can look forward to a full series review coming this October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I got to film that today.
Yes, you do.
I wore the horror show shirt.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to jump in with my first one, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Channel Zero.
Yeah.
Because the No End House just premiered, and I've seen nothing but good. Like, oh man, it's so creepy and good, and all this stuff. And I didn't get to watch the last season either, so I want to watch them both. The last one was only 6 episodes, and now that I finished with the Defenders, I can probably seek that out and do that, and then move on to the new season. Because even though I know they're not associated with each other, I still want to watch the first season first. But yeah, I just. All of the buzz and the fact that it's a creepypasta, or they are creepypasta stories, I should say, it makes me interested in it, and frankly, it's always clawing at the back of my mind, but I don't know sometimes if I should watch it without you, because you might actually really like it too, so We might have to try that in the very near future.
It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
You watched the full first season?
Yeah.
Okay, I watched the pilot, and it was some of the most genuinely creepy stuff I've watched in a long time.
So weird.
And honestly, the stuff that they did in it with the kill them all reminded me a lot of the weird show that the kids were watching.
Yeah.
Just some of the sensibilities of it and the way it was filmed and all grainy looking and stuff. I was like, did you just borrow a little bit? Because none of that was in the original scripts that Kerry Fukunaga was working on. So.
Oh, wait, that it borrowed it?
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I think Channel Zero came out before.
And a lot of people have accused it. As much as I enjoyed it a lot, I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it a lot of borrowing.
Well, let's not
Stranger
go.
Things.
Let's
and
not
I
go
know we
there
don't want
because
the. I know what Jones. Stop
Everybody
saying.
gets so offended with my reaction to it.
They're gonna start going off.
Did you watch the first episode of the new one yet? The new channel?
No, and I'm wondering if I have to read
You do, because they
they changed
it's
the
No End
name.
House now.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that?
It's free
Dumb.
online.
Same with
now.
American Horror Story.
Yes.
Every season.
I had an issue because it didn't record the first episode. And I got so mad,
Mhm.
and I was just like throwing things around. I'm like, where, like, Pete, figure out fast. Like, how am I gonna watch this? Like, I am not waiting until Saturday to watch this. I need to watch it now. And so he figured out.
She's gonna try
Sunday
one
now.
more episode of that to see if she wants to hang in there, and then we'll try and keep up. I was thinking we could do a mid-season review and an end-of-season review.
It makes sense.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm into it.
Have you watched any more of it yet?
I mean, I'm caught up.
Oh, you are. So
No.
what is it? 3 episodes at this
I
point?
think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Did it get better or worse since the first one, or just more of the same?
it's very interesting.
Okay.
Lou was praising Billy Lord's character. Really liked
The
her.
babysitter.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's
he was saying
creepy.
she's doing a very interesting
She
job.
got
I
all-
just think that
She
he
got a
said
little
in the impression
handsy
she's
with
hot.
Sarah Paulson.
Really?
Ooh.
Little
Really?
bathtub action going
Cha-cha-cha.
on.
What?
Yeah, salsa.
Wowza. Okay.
All right. So,
Anyway.
Marsha, what's the next one you want to talk about?
I think you have the
I have
list.
a list of all kinds of different stuff on here.
Actually, I had.
This is older stuff. This is all.
Yeah. I was actually looking into, gosh, it's not on your list. The vampire one. True Blood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I never
That's
saw
when I
it.
You
watched.
never watched True Blood?
I watched the first few seasons and really liked it and fell off for me.
Well, now that I'm watching Midnight Texas,
Charlene Harris.
I'm kind of wondering what True Blood would be like. I'm sure it's similar, mid-grade horror, like.
Well, it is HBO, so they have a lot less
So it's
constraints.
probably a little bit better. Not that I do like Midnight Texas, I do,
It's
but
gory
I
as hell,
feel
True
like
Blood.
I could make it.
A lot of sex.
They could have, if it was an HBO series, they could have made it like at least 20%
You
better.
might actually like True Blood.
You haven't watched any of it?
No, I haven't
Oh,
watched
man,
it.
True Blood
So
was really
it's
good
on
for a
my
while.
list.
Mm.
It is on my list.
That's interesting.
Because I heard a lot of really cool things about it. Like
Mhm.
people like fucking.
The last season was utter dog shit, just
Yeah.
like Dexter.
They changed a lot of the source
See, I
material
like
from
the
the
end of
books
Dexter.
too. But
What? You're the first person I have ever spoken to that
I
said
just
they
love
liked
that
the end of
show.
Dexter.
I just loved
It
it.
didn't bother me.
I
Really?
I'm
Even though
biased,
Deb
as everybody
died for
knows.
No reason?
Everybody
died for
knows
no
I am
reason.
super biased
Deb
on
died
things that I
because
like.
Dexter
So.
didn't do what he was supposed to do.
I
Dexter
hated
was
that ending.
Dexter was supposed to kill the guy. Every time Dexter doesn't kill the guy, somebody Dexter loves dies.
yeah,
And
and that's a
they've had that established since fucking Rita died. He
That's
didn't
true.
kill the Trinity Killer, and Trinity Killer killed Rita.
and that's a show that I watched the first
Finally.
season
I
or
know,
two
right?
of.
I know.
And,
And
then
just, like,
every,
never finished,
every time
so.
after that, he fucked up. Somebody close to him died.
Well, I had lots of friends tell
I
me
would-
like later seasons where he there's John Lithgow, there's Jimmy Smits is on there for a
Yep.
while too or something, and
Yep.
so they're like, you need to stick with it, man, just like everybody told
Colin
me.
Hanks played a really cool character.
Really, Tom Hanks' kid, interesting. The kid from Orange County.
Was he
He was
the?
the apocalypse killer.
Oh yeah. There were so many
That's what I
cool
gotta
things
revisit.
going on with Dexter, and I love the dynamic between the characters.
Mhm. There was a
Um,
lot to love about that show until the last season.
I dig it. I held all the way through. Like, yeah, it was a little bit of a cop out how they ended it, but I mean, it was just one of those situations that doesn't, like, no matter what you do, you're not going to win. And I just accepted it the way it was. And I'm like, I love that show. We should never win away.
Tony Robinson asked, when does Z Nation come back? And because I know none of us have that on our list to watch, we'll just say, give our little experiences. I watched the pilot and I hated it, so I didn't watch any beyond that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything since the end of the third season, Sorry. I haven't seen anything since like the end of the second or third, whatever season it was where they had the plant zombies. I haven't seen anything since the end. I think it was the end of that season when they got to the. Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. If there's people out there who don't want it spoiled.
So I haven't watched any of it. Is it based on any pre-existing source material, like a comic or something?
No, I don't think so.
think
Jerk
so.
says I think Z Nation is better than The Walking Dead.
Man!
Nuts.
I don't know. Is he talking
Two
about
completely
that, or is he
different walks
talking
of
about
zombies.
Hannibal?
No, because he said Z Nation is great. I think it's better than The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Obviously,
No.
to each their own. Yeah.
I mean, we're all open to your own opinions, but I don't agree with that.
And I'm still curious about Fear the Walking Dead, because it's a show that I've heard has moments where it's interesting, and it's just nowhere near as
It
good.
doesn't
It's not,
for the first two seasons.
it's
for
not
sure.
based on
Not really,
pre-existing source
Yeah.
material. It's not based on the comic, so
I
it's just
don't
an
know if I want to
offshoot.
go back to it or not. I keep going back and
Me
forth.
I know.
too.
I
Me
watched
too.
the first two seasons. And
I watched the first season.
Yeah, no. I hear the third season is the best yet, and I'm like, okay. And I actually saw someone post that last week's episode was the best episode of the series. And I was like, okay. And I do want to go back to it because I do like the Walking Dead universe, and I have consumed everything about it. You know.
I find it strange that you can't watch Fear the Walking Dead on Netflix, but you can watch Walking Dead on Netflix.
You can watch Fear the
I think you
Walking
can watch
Dead
Fear,
on
can't you?
Hulu, I think.
Yeah. Either way, the newest season isn't on yet because it just finished.
Well, I had to
I
start
guess,
over.
or it needs to finish.
Well, I wouldn't start over.
Yeah,
I had
don't
to start
do that
with
to
the second.
yourself.
I got to start the second season because I think I only watched like maybe 2
You
episodes.
finished it, right?
What, second
Second
season?
season?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is rather strange.
Yeah.
That's a strange thing.
Another chill.
Like, why wouldn't they just
Sorry.
do both of them on
Yeah,
Netflix? They can only afford one. I feel like if they paid for Walking Dead, that they should throw in the Fear of the Walking Dead as a gift.
It's a bonus. It's icing on the cake. Sprinkles on top. Yeah.
What's your next one?
The next one, I'm actually gonna reach back to 2 different oldies that I've never watched, and I know they took the anthology approach, and they were based on 2 iconic 80s properties. I haven't watched the Freddy's Nightmares or the Friday the 13th series, and I know that they were both like.
I have Freddy's Nightmares if you want to borrow it.
I think I have it in a box set of Freddy's stuff that I got, but I don't have any of the
Never
Friday
opened.
the 13th stuff. So no, it's been open, but I just never watched the anthology series. Did you guys like any of those? Did you guys see any of those?
I watched the Freddy episodes of the Freddy's Nightmares, but I didn't watch the rest of it. I got a bootleg thing a long time ago from San Diego Comic Con, and like 2 of the discs didn't even work. So I'm like soured on it.
Understandable.
Understandable.
But yeah, those are 2 that I've always been kind of curious about because I love anthology storytelling. But the fact that they associated themselves with properties, and in the Friday case, they didn't have anything to do with Jason, right?
No. It was all just horror anthology stories. I like Chase Smith says, "Oof, Freddy's Nightmares. It's a show." Okay, so Brittany, what's another one for you?
I mean, you guys have said most of them. Like Hannibal, I was interested in Hannibal. I don't know if you guys have brought that one up yet.
Yeah, I think I showed her the pilot to it, and but you had other stuff to catch up on first, so I imagine you'll probably want to catch up on Gotham first too. But
oh yeah, I still gotta finish catching up on Gotham. Oh man.
I've heard the 4th season of Gotham looks insanely awesome. Like they're bringing in all the villains at this point, like everybody.
oh wow.
I can't.
It's slowly been going crazier and crazier in the 3rd season. It's just insanity.
Okay. But yeah, Hannibal,
yeah,
I think you'd really
Hannibal.
like.
Like
You
said,
did like the pilot, I remember.
More psychological thrillers.
Yeah, well, this is a really, really gory one too,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it because,
And despite being on NBC, huh?
oh
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
so gory for NBC, like
Crazy.
surprisingly so. And like Will Graham, I love the fact that the way he surveys a crime scene is he puts himself into the killer's shoes,
Yeah.
literally.
Mm.
Like he retraces the steps of the killer at every crime scene. And it's
Yeah.
really awesome. He has this whole thing he says, this is my design. It's so good. And the verbal tete-a-tetes between him and Hannibal later in the series, because the first season and a half, they don't even know that he's it's the first season. Don't they reveal it at the end of the first season that he's actually the one that's been killing all the people that he's helping them try and catch? Or no, it was a separate killer, but they kept finding his crimes, and they would get intermixed with the other guy and stuff
Right.
like that.
Because he would copycat. a little
Right,
bit, yeah.
right. But oh God, it's just so good. It's so much more than a police procedural to me. That's why I love it, because I hate police procedurals.
Yeah, same here. There's so many of them on TV too, or the the crime scene investigation and the CSIs, all that. I can't stand that stuff.
Hannibal, I have to say, it is an intelligent person's show.
Yeah.
If you don't like to think or appreciate really good dialogue, then you're gonna find it boring, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a slower show, so
Mhm.
you really have to be in it to not get it, but to appreciate it.
but it's actually got a few Shyamalanian twists at
It
times
does.
too. Like
It
it's
does.
so well crafted. Brian Fuller is fucking genius.
No, it
when
was
came to that show.
a really well thought out show. I thought that they did a phenomenal job. I couldn't believe that it got canceled.
They're
'cause
still
it was-
trying to revive
There's
it.
there's
Trying
been
to
more
dance.
rumblings even recently about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really surprised me. It's why are all the good ones getting canceled?
I know. That was my introduction to Mads Mikkelsen too. who-
People just keep watching the stupid ones, and so
yeah, those keep coming back.
Well, I'll chime in real quick. A show a lot of people were surprised got renewed, and that was The Exorcist. I haven't watched it, and I know the second season is focusing on a different family, and so there's no Gina Davis or anything. Who knows how
We're
connected?
gonna do a reaction to the trailers.
Yeah. I'm not sure how connected it's a show that I've really wanted to watch based on the high marks you guys
it's
both
really
gave
good.
it.
Yeah,
It's really
Yeah,
good.
it started slow, but it really ramped stuff up and got crazy as it went along, from what I've been told.
Mhm.
So it's gonna have the same two priests, right? But yet they're covering
Yes.
a different situation or something. So that's one that I still really want to get around to with all the
Well,
buzz about
I
it.
think it's interesting they're turning it into kind of anthology. So
A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because we're gonna be following the story of the group from the first season. So the B plot of the first season is now, I'm guessing, gonna be either that or it'll be the continuing B plot of season 2, and the A plot will be the new family.
right,
So it's kind of interesting how they're carrying just
it's kind of like
That
The
over.
Conjuring.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
That's true. Because you get the hunters, or not the
Right.
hunters, but
Yeah.
the Warrens.
The Warrens,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, okay, good. I think I'm going to jump in again here with, I'm going to do 2 quick hitters, and that is, I forgot to mention more when Blood Drive was brought up, that after watching that first episode, the over-sexuality of it really kind of turned me off, believe it or not. I thought it was so stupid, it just ruined the whole fucking episode
the
for me.
banging when
I
they were
thought it
trying
was
to get
so
across
dumb.
the
It was it's fun and crank, that kind of thing, but this was just stupid.
Yeah.
But I heard that was the low point of the season, that
pilot.
the rest was, really badass death race, and I'm totally down for that. So I do want to go back and finish that. Also, one that I want to get back to, and the reason it's on my list is because we can't access it right now, is Outcast Season 2.
I
Yeah.
know it's on the illegal means, but they've showed the whole season
Mhm.
in Europe or the UK or whatever, and it has no U.S. distribution
I don't
yet. What is
understand.
going on, Cinemax?
What happened? It makes me want to watch it because I'm what is going on in that season that makes them we can't air this here?
It's
Right.
rights issues because it airs on Fox over there. Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean,
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, very weird, in fact, and very disappointing because that first season, it was maybe my favorite horror show of 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
loved
so
it.
good.
It was fantastically
good.
done.
The comic is still awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't been following it lately, but I need to get back.
They
into
did
it.
some crazy shit in the last arc.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, really aggressive with some characters
Well, is
you
the
don't
new
expect.
trade out yet?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure there might be 2 more trades out.
Oh
at this
wow,
point.
has it been that long?
Yeah, it really
I
has.
picked up a trade.
It was some of the best acting I've seen on a horror show in ages, honestly. I mean, between Brent Spiner, Patrick Fugit, and his tortured nature of his character. I mean, damn, that show. If you guys haven't sought it out, I know many people were saying, I don't have Cinemax. Why would I order Skinemax? There's nothing on there to watch besides, whatever skin flicks and stupid shit like that. But it's on home release now. I don't know if it streams on anything, though. So that's something to look into, guys. Outcast is badass.
Lazy Gamer says he needs to watch Penny Dreadful, Grimm, American Horror Story, Outcast, and Poltergeist the series.
Poltergeist the series?
I'm pretty sure he means Exorcist the series.
Well,
but
they did do a Poltergeist series. It was called Poltergeist the Legacy, but it was... I can't remember if it was Anthology
shit, maybe
or
that
if
is
it
what he's
was...
referring
Yeah, it
to.
was a 90s show. I remember it airing late nights.
Yeah,
and not
Lazy
being that-
Gamer, you need
not being
to
that
like watch
impressed.
some TV, dude. Just like I'm gonna give you a prescription.
Get
Man.
that, man.
And the only what, is more cowbell? I don't know. Yeah.
Wait.
I
Oh
tried
yeah,
it.
Leslie McCann says, I love Poltergeist the Legacy. Annoys me on the first season is available on DVD in the UK.
What about Hemlock Grove, guys? Anybody watch that?
I
mean,
had that on my
hot
list as-
Skarsgård.
I had that on my list as one to maybe get back to eventually because I heard like people keep saying like no I watched the first season and I was very disappointed, very disappointed because nothing fucking happened except for that one transformation in like episode 2, and I was just bored. It was just no payoff for the entire season, and but then. So the transformation from man into wolf in the first season was huge. Apparently, the transformation from wolf back into man was what was big in the second season. And I have no idea what was supposed to be cool about the third season, but the fact that there's only like one cool thing about each season does not bode well, does not make me want to go back to it.
Well, Bill Skarsgård, everybody's all hard on for him currently, so I've heard he's the best part of it, but I think Funka Johnson's the lead character, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, not the lead.
Not the lead,
no,
but
the
like
kids
one
are
of them.
Scar. Well, yeah, she's one of
the...
She's Bill Skarsgård's mom in the show.
Okay.
Vampire family.
Interesting. Okay. What's another one? How about Salem? Anybody watch Salem at all?
I watched the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, I watched a little. It was okay. I know Manson showed up in
I watched
a later
like 2
season.
or 3 episodes. I hated it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, what is
hated
this?
it.
This is not Salem.
Oh wait, no, I
Everything
watched the
about it.
first 2 seasons. I did not watch the 3rd season.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this is way too like.
Wasn't it the kid from A Walk to
Sexy.
Remember with a beard and he's trying to be like badass or something?
Oh,
I don't even really remember.
Shane West.
There you go.
I don't really remember.
I was subjected to that movie, okay?
I just like
Prior.
remember looking at this and I'm like, well, how are you romanticizing Salem witch trials? Like, come on, guys, stop it, put it away.
I like the one that Jerks brought up. What do you guys think of Being Human? I've actually
I
watched
love
which
that
which
show.
one?
I watched the
Okay,
BBC
or
and the American version,
Yeah,
and
I
I
do
actually
love
love them both.
Yeah.
Well, the last season
I
of Being
haven't
Human in the UK was fucking horrible because they killed one of the main 3 in the second to last season. The very
I'm
end.
not
of it.
100% caught up on it, but I like to randomly throw it on and watch it.
Oh really? For the American or the BBC one?
Both.
Yeah, both. Either.
I feel like I think I like the BBC one better than I do the American one.
I do too because I like the wolf better in the BBC one.
Yeah.
Although I like the vampire in the BBC one is essentially the UK's Crystalia.
Yeah.
And then, but I love the vampire in our version because it's Sam Witwer.
Right.
And he's fucking awesome. He was the main guy in, I think, the Force Unleashed video games, and he's been in a ton of shit, including voicing a lot of shit too. So.
These possums, bro! Fuck!
Britt, do you have another one? Did you see any others? Did you get back to Grimm? Did you get through Grimm?
I did get back to Grimm. I did finish Grimm, and I was very torn about the last episode. There were parts of it that I liked, and there were parts of it that I hated. And I kind of liked the way they ended it, like the last note. But I was like, it was kind of iffy there through the middle. Like they were like, and I was like, okay, you guys are really gonna go down this path? It was frustrating.
Yeah, when I saw ads for Grimm, I always got it confused with Sleepy Hollow for
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
reason.
Sleepy
you know?
Hollow.
And I love that
I-
source material, the
yeah.
Ichabod Crane stuff and whatnot, but it was set in modern times.
Yeah,
I
it's
watched
like
Hollow
modern
movie.
times I was like
two
Hmm.
and a half seasons, and then we kind of got like we just fell out of it.
I heard they killed
Like,
off a
it
crucial character and they
Mhm.
kept the series going, and people were pissed
Oh.
about it.
Yeah, the most
so-
recent season, they tried to bring it back without one of the main fucking people, and it's like, what? No. Yeah, because they.
Did
yeah.
it feel hollow?
No, but it made me sleepy.
Even better.
No, it's yeah. When they did that, like I watched and I was into it. I really actually liked the show because the monsters were cool. I liked the headless horseman.
Yeah.
I liked the big demon, that they were up
Yeah.
against, and then it was a witch in a later season. But yeah, they pulled that at the end of like the third season, and I was like, what the fuck did they just do? And then it was like, that was the end of the season. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, Sleepy Hollow canceled? ? Google. And I was like, no, the season's been renewed, but that character isn't coming back. And I was like, what the fuck? That's so dumb.
So does the show have
Just
like
do
some...
one of those like cast changes, like cast change.
Eh.
Like
Didn't make
remember when
sense.
Becky showed up one day and it was a different Becky on Roseanne.
Didn't they do tons of Halloween episodes on Roseanne, if I remember correctly? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like a thing.
I love Roseanne. Sorry, there's a Roseanne reference in there for you guys.
You know, another BBC show that I watched a little bit of on Netflix and I really enjoyed and want to get back to is Dead Set. And you guys seen Dead Set? It's kind of poking fun at the whole reality,
Big
television
Brother.
stuff, and Big Brother, which originated in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. And so matched that with The Walking Dead. It was developed by the same guy who developed Black Mirror, which I still need to watch the third season of Black Mirror, and there's a fourth season of that coming. But Dead Set was cool. I liked what I saw, and how they thought it was all like the people stuck inside the house thought it was all part of the angle.
Yeah,
So I thought that was cool.
Okay, so that's so funny. Yeah, Amanda being the UK Being Human was similar to Misfits. I agree. Misfits was a fucking amazing UK show until the last season when they changed the whole fucking cast. But Ramsay Bolton was one of the original Misfits from that show. He was the guy that could he would go invisible if he held his breath.
Interesting.
And so he was this really mousy character, but he got more comfortable with himself and came out of his shell and stuff. But
Did they do an American remake of Misfits? Or did
No.
they try to? I could have sworn I heard about it.
someone asked, or Lazy Gamer asked, was Warehouse 13 considered horror? And I'd say no, but there were horror-leaning episodes, just like in
Like
X-Files and.
Love the X-Files. That's
Doctor
a show.
Who has horror episodes, but it's definitely not a horror show,
Yeah.
I always
and
wanted to
then
go back and finish the X-Files. I never did.
Okie Jules asks, have we checked out The Magicians? And
I want to check out The Magicians.
Yeah, Brittany and I are planning
have
to
not
watch
checked
that.
out The Magicians.
yeah, because it's supposed to be Harry Potter, but for like college age kids or something.
No,
or,
no,
is it high
it's
school?
like it's supposed to be like magic is a drug, and it's also like this kid. He's like in a mental institution, but he's like not like he's like trapped. It's like
Okay.
like I said, once again,
Interesting.
psychological.
Another show that could fall into the almost horror, but not quite, but really more horror-centric episodes do exist, is Haven. So,
Haven.
Which I still
love-
haven't watched. Yeah.
Love Haven.
I saw it.
I
I
need
was
to
scrolling
check
through
it out.
Netflix today, and I saw it. I was like, "Oh, I could finally finish this shit."
Oh, so good.
But-
I wish it would go. I wish it would have gone on forever. I
See,
love
I've
that
read
show.
the book that it's based on, The Colorado Kid, but I
Yeah.
know that it was like such a tiny, thin
It's
little hard
very-
crime, and they just expanded upon the
Yeah.
investigative concept, right? And
Yeah.
there's King references everywhere, and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
people are beating me over the head with why I haven't watched it.
What's up, Ms. Bond? Good to
It's
see
really
you.
it's really cool because there's people that will pop up that have like these powers and it causing havoc, and then and it's all revolving around Audrey, who is the main character
Mm-hmm.
girl and it's very like
She
time
was the
travel-y.
recruit in the book.
Yeah, she was like really. It's really good.
She was the new recruit, and then there was like an older detective she was paired with,
Right.
at least in the book.
Yeah,
you know.
and they find out like she's actually comes back every so often,
Mhm.
and that's when all of
Mm.
the powers and stuff start to, the troubles
The
they call
troubles,
it
yeah.
come
Yeah.
back
Troubles.
because she's all linked. She's linked to everything. It's very interesting.
I'm gonna have to watch it. There's a laundry list of Stephen King properties I have here that I haven't watched. I never watched The Dead Zone. Any of you guys watched?
That's a movie, though.
Well,
No,
one's
there's a
Oh, that's right. They did
lengthy
do a show
TV
after the
series.
movie.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that was a really popular TV series.
It
if I
lasted like
recall.
5 or 6
Yeah, it was.
seasons. It had the dude from The Breakfast Club in it. I know they adapted the source material a few seasons in for like an episode arc, but the rest of it was just Johnny Smith going around solving cases, and it was well critically received too, and it was popular. So that's one. Did any of you guys ever watch Kingdom Hospital?
Yes.
Oh.
I
I
have
never
that.
watched that because
No.
it wasn't based on King source material. It's like Lars von Trier or whatever, and it was
Yep.
King like adapting that.
Mhm.
So based on that, I was like, if it's King adapting someone else's, I'm not so into this. But how was it, man?
I liked Kingdom Hospital. It was weird. I think I recall it not having the best ending in typical King fashion, but
He's notorious for that.
But I did love the massive anteater creature. It was so weird. I've been wanting to watch it with you actually and do a review on the channel.
Yeah, it's one that I need to check out for Hail to Stephen King, man. You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
that's a completist. I need to watch that. I need to finish Rose Red because I watched a few
Rose
episodes
Red,
of that, and I
okay.
did not like Rose Red either. You know, I wasn't too into it.
What,
Felt very rehashy. It was like it was one of those event mini-series. It was like 2 or 3 parts on
Yeah.
ABC.
I have it actually.
I do too. It's just sitting on my shelf.
I love the story about, and I recently went to go see the Winchester Mansion.
They have a movie coming out about that actually.
About my visit there. Yeah, it was pretty.
Yes.
It was pretty
Pretty
intense.
eventful, huh?
Documenting
It
it.
was pretty intense.
Amanda,
3
Amanda
hours.
Darrington says if you're looking for a zombie show that's different, check out In the Flesh UK. Only 2 seasons, but I liked it. I'm gonna actually contradict her on that because I don't know if I watched both seasons. I don't think I could go back because the conceit of that show is zombies happen, right? The zombie apocalypse happens, but the government is able to develop a sort of a cure. It's a thing that keeps them from going feral, and they try and reintegrate zombies into society because they remember being their old selves, and
They got
some of
iZombie?
them no yeah some
No
actually
way.
yes some of them use makeup to try and pass, but the main character, like, he goes through, it's only 3 episodes per season. But they're like an hour and a half each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typical UK.
Yeah, but it was different. I will agree with her to say it was definitely different, but it was too boring for me with no payoff by the end because it gets into politics and local politics, and it's becomes, honestly, the whole thing is an allegory for racism and bigotry. Because it's people not wanting zombies reintegrated into society because what if they go rabid, and some do.
Yeah.
Because they don't take their medicine like they're supposed to.
You go medicine.
Man, that sounds dangerous.
It's-
Well,
yeah.
and that's kind of where iZombie is going right now. I don't think you're not.
I'm not.
caught
No,
up.
I'm up to until this newest season. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about where they're going, which I find it interesting.
It's so weird because the what I watched up to seemed to like close out all of the iZombie stories with the Max Rager stuff. All of that went away at the end of
Except
the
for
season I watched.
when they discovered that there was like a whole this whole SWAT team army of zombies.
Oh, that's right.
So that's
Crazy.
basically what that's about.
Okay, let's see. Last season.
I never got into Teen Wolf, and I know
It's
you
so good.
really liked
Table
it.
cat.
I haven't watched the last season of that too. I need to get back to that as well. I watched the first episode of the last season, and I decided that was enough for now because Styles gets taken, and I think the whole season is about them trying to get Styles back. And Styles is kind of the only reason I watched the show all the way through because I love that fucking actor Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
He's in the Maze Runner movies, and actually, he's in some big war movie coming up soon that I saw a trailer for in one of the movies we saw recently. He's and with like big names or something. Like I originally wanted him as one of the main characters in Bracer. Honestly, when I first wrote it a few years ago, but now I don't think I could get him if I wanted to. But yeah, the show is awesome. There's a lot of good horror, and the wolves are cool. You know, like they're the old school humanoid wolves, just like in Teen Wolf. But there's some, like there is in a later season, the big bad is a massive giant bipedal wolf. Like it's really fucking cool.
So they
with
totally
like glowing red eyes and shit.
So they totally went against tone of.
Oh yeah.
So there's no surfing on top of a car.
No, it's horror the whole way through, which is why it's awesome and definitely talk aboutable here.
Yeah, I definitely, that is definitely on my list.
And
so
there is a very OC thing that happens
OC
where they take away one of the main characters who is like the significant other of another main character.
So they Misha Bartoned her?
Yeah. Almost literally that.
She's sexy.
But I was definitely happy to see Misha Barton go. Although the show kind of went off the rails after that.
Are you talking about Peyton?
Huh?
Wait, are you talking about OC?
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
We were.
Like
yes, we were. Sorry.
Yeah, Misha Barton's. I'm comparing that to something that happens in Teen Wolf that is very, very similar.
I'm thinking of a different other show. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
So then, Teen Wolf, you would recommend over Scream for MTV horror adaptation?
I would say so. Yes, for sure.
Really? Well, then maybe I'll like it because I really like Scream.
Yeah, no, I love Teen Wolf. I mean, it is. I loved it. You should try it. It is. I mean, it's the first year they're freshmen. You know, so they're young, but it's balancing high school with becoming a fucking wolf and wanting to kill. And the first couple seasons are him learning how to do things and developing his pack. And like, because wolf packs come into it, there's a rival werewolf pack that comes in the second season, and like, it's really, really fucking cool. Like,
Don't
it
turn
really
it back
is.
on the wolf pack.
But yeah, so definitely I think it's worth it. Okay.
It's weird.
The Stand is so big it needs at least 4 seasons. I'm guessing this was.
Yeah, it needs seasons. I mean, there's still talk with Josh Boone about adapting it into a movie or 2 movies or whatever. It's got to be like a 10-episode, 2-season event series, in my opinion. It needs to be on an HBO or a Starz or something like that. And that's the only way you could do it justice, I think.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool if they did it kind of like...
Chase Smith is
they did a show kind of like Penny Dreadful, but for Stephen King, because his world is so interconnected.
No, that's what Castle Rock is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that out?
And they're still developing it right now. But the
Well,
cast...
they finished. No, they finished. I know the writing's done because Mark Bernardin's job is over.
So I just came up with an idea.
He's like, yeah, we finished Castle Rock, so now I'm unemployed.
Man, the cast they put together so far for that show, I mean, you've got Sissy Spacek, you've got Bill Skarsgård, you've got, her name's eluding me, the girl from Don't Breathe. It's a hell of a cast. It's looking very impressive. I'm curious. I hope it doesn't suck. Please don't
Channing
suck.
Tatum?
No, not on that one.
Oh.
That's Kingsman.
Bracer.
Yeah, I was like...
Side note, I really want to see the second Kingsman movie because I finally watched the first one and that shit was awesome.
So
awesome
is
movie.
Ash done?
Jeez.
Is Evil Dead Ash done?
The 3rd season has been filmed, but it has apparently been delayed. It's not premiering in October like the previous 2 did. They're thinking early spring, and
that's weird.
Ratings were down in the 2nd season, and so they're curious if Starz believes in it as much as they did before. I love the 1st season. 2nd season was
going, man. Like they already filmed it, might as well air it. Like I guess they're afraid of the other things that are coming out.
There's so much October competition between The Walking Dead and the new Stranger Things and stuff. Maybe they thought it was better to keep their distance.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
It's Leslie McCann asks, have you ever seen the UK show Hex with a young Michael Fassbender as a fallen angel?
No, I've heard of it.
But you did remind me of another UK show by the same guy that's been doing Doctor Who for so long called Jekyll.
Yeah, that was an event series too. Right?
Yeah, that was only 6 episodes, but it was really, really cool. It was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but the actor did such a physical transformation. Like it's so cool how he does it. But they don't enhance him, but he does end up looking like a foot taller and stuff like
That's
that.
true.
Damn.
Crazy.
So it's
Yeah.
almost like Hulk status a little bit then.
It,
huh?
it was really good.
I think I'd like that.
That's
How do you
getting-
find it?
Speaking
Is
of
that-
Channing
I have it,
Tatum.
I think, in my
Oh, really?
box of TV shows.
I
yeah.
think that would be fun to watch.
It's really good, Jekyll, and it's played by he was one of the hobbits or one of the hobbits in the Hobbit.
And
One
speaking,
of the dwarves.
Oh,
and speaking
okay.
of Channing Tatum, he's actually starring in the American remake of that.
Hi, Brady.
Of what?
Jekyll?
The Jekyll.
Hobbit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
Hobbit?
Channing Tatum is going to be Jekyll?
we
Really?
talked about that on the news a
That's
few months
weird.
ago. Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird. I haven't even watched the show, and I'm like,
Mm.
it sounds weird. I can imagine him as a Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Like, Not
Stephen
to
Moffat,
diss him,
Lazy
but-
Gamer. Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
right. Not Russell Davies. It was a Jekyll's a Moffat vehicle.
Stephen Moffat. Who's got Moffat? Moffat.
So we got about 13 more minutes here, guys.
Mm.
Before we got to finish, because we started about 5 minutes early today. Believe it or not, we started early instead of late.
Ah.
Thank you, Joseph. He says, "What's up, guys? Hope all is well. Still overseas, so I don't get to catch the show as much as I'd like. But when I do, you guys are always great to watch. Stay
Yeah.
scared."
Oh, thanks, man.
Hells yeah.
I love that shit. Sanity is Radical has been talking too.
you didn't put Under the Dome on here. Are you
I put
serious?
Under the Dome on there for the sheer fact that I was curious how much of the source material they adapted. I
None.
watched the first few episodes and I did not like it very
None.
much.
I
But
didn't even like the book.
yeah, the book honestly,
I liked it until the
it
end.
was okay, you know. I mean, but it had so many similar. This is one thing. As much as I love Stephen King, he is notorious for rehashing plot points in a lot of ways. Like when everybody was rioting at the market and all that stuff, and just some of the scheming of the characters and whatnot. I mean, it had some echoes of the Mist. It had some echoes. It can go on and on about it, but
The
yeah.
meth thing was weird. I don't know.
Barbie was an interesting lead character.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, I thought he was decent.
High five.
But I know Stephen King either wrote one of the episodes or directed it or some crap. But who's the girl from Tomorrowland who was in it? Oh, I can't remember.
That was in the Secret Circle.
Was she in the Secret Circle also?
The main blonde.
I think so. I cannot recall her name for whatever reason, but I know she was in it. I mean, the cast was just okay. I saw they were changing a lot,
A lot.
and that's, I mean, also Golden Years is and The Mist. I mean, shit, The Mist is one that even though I hated the first 2 episodes, I still feel like I need to go back
I've
and watch it just
actually-
as a completist. You
I
know?
haven't watched every episode, but Pete throws it on every now and then because he's like gone through a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, now I'm watching the later episodes. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Maybe I should watch all of it.
It streams on Netflix as of October 1st.
Yeah.
So
So it got really,
So we'll have to
it
do
got
a
a little
review.
interesting.
we'll have to do a review. You know, another one that, not King related, but I know David
Yeah,
Lynch
watch
isn't
that
for
cat.
everybody. I'm sure we're going to have some people
You're
on
funny
here
as
who
that.
love Twin Peaks and some people who absolutely despise it. I couldn't get through more than a couple episodes of the original, and so I haven't watched the revival.
Oh, yeah, I'm
of
not
Twin
gonna bother.
Peaks.
I watched the first episode and it's like 5 hours long. And it felt 10 hours long.
Yeah.
This is David Lynch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him.
His stuff is
I don't
so
like his
hit and
stuff.
miss. Like I liked Mulholland Drive and Lost
Like,
Highway, but
what's
yet I wasn't as big on like Wild at Heart or
You like him?
Blue Velvet.
No.
Oh yeah, that's what I hear. I hear that's a lot. There's a
No,
lot
like,
of that going on. In
I
it.
get-
He's
I
an
think
acquired taste for
I
sure.
didn't get through Twin Peaks, and not because I didn't try. It's just like really dated. Like it's really
The
dated.
theme music alone in the original series goes for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
melodramatic as fuck, and
Yeah.
there's so much crying in the first episode about when they find out the girl's been killed, and it's just too much for me. But I've heard it's so batshit crazy, zany, insane that I mean, I don't know.
would like to finish it, but then I was like, okay, I'll try the new Twin Peaks, and I got through the first episode, and me and people are like, okay, well, they're not gonna binge this. We'll come back to the second one. We haven't gone back to it.
it does get horror sometimes. So like the scene with the bum behind the dumpster.
That's my feet.
The scene with the bum behind the
Sorry.
dumpster in Mulholland Drive scared the living shit out of me. Seriously. Ugh. Just thinking about it scares me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ash Samuel says, "Do not watch the Mist TV show. It's completely fucking shit. Seriously."
Well, when the original film set such a high standard, you know, that
Well, yeah, it's not. It's,
that Darabont
I mean,
did.
it's not high quality TV, but I'm like, watch. You know, I think I don't know what episodes they were, but I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting that what they're doing here. But
I agree.
But Pete, I bet if you watched it, I
Mhm.
think Pete would. You could probably pull Pete in to do an episode with you because he read the books or whatever.
It was
the
a
short,
novella.
the yeah.
It was like
He
a
read
little-
all of
around
that,
100 pages.
and he's really been into so he's been telling me things I didn't know.
Mhm.
So he might be a really good person to follow up on if you do watch it. So.
Yeah, I'll have to at some point.
Because he's like, oh, this character is this character, and they're doing it this way instead of this way, but it's interesting because of these plot points. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I think that would be good. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's it.
We've covered a lot of stuff. We've
Yeah.
just about X'd everything off on my list aside from older anthologies. I would love to properly explore every episode of The Outer Limits and Twilight Zone. Never watched the 80s remake of The Twilight Zone, and I heard that was a lot scarier.
Did
in some
anyone ever
instances.
watch the vampire show Kindred? The Kindred?
Yeah.
I wonder if any of you guys ever
remember-
watched the
I
Kindred.
remember
I
hearing
watched
about
that.
it, yeah.
There's another one I was given to watch by a friend of Susie's called, I think, Forever Night.
Yes,
about
that's the
it?
detective.
Yeah, the
I think that was a
detective that's a
Canadian
vampire,
show.
so
yeah.
he just worked the night shift.
Dude, I watched that show as a kid. And
Oh,
I
really?
really liked it. Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't watch all of it, but
There's
it
3
was-
seasons, I
The
guess.
Yeah,
Art
it
of
was in
Horror says
syndication. I thought it
Kindred
was
was
pretty damn
cool.
good.
Yeah, okay, someone remembers Kindred. Cool.
Mm.
I like Chase's Smith's answer. The return of Twin Peaks was just David Lynch jerking off for 18 hours. Yes, it was very self-serving.
Does it have the dude smashing his head into the mirror again? Because everybody talks about that scene. And anyway,
There was a weird mirror thing going on, and
Mhm.
I literally don't know what's going on.
Lynch is crazy,
I don't
man.
know
His
what's
stuff
going
is
on.
definitely
Literally
not for
don't
everybody.
have a clue.
I still want to watch Scream Queens, honestly.
Ugh.
Yeah.
The first season, yes. The
Yeah.
second season, fuck no. No.
I love seeing
The whole
Emma
thing
Roberts
is
go into
annoying me.
full bitch mode. It amuses the hell out of me for whatever
She
reason.
The first
annoys
one-
That's why I
the
like
first
Coven
one's
so
great.
much.
Man, the first season was great. I love Chad Radwell. He fucking
What a
made me
name.
laugh so hard, dude. Yeah, it's seriously, it's like one of my favorite named characters of all time, Chad Radwell. It's so
Yeah.
fucking perfect. Yeah, Brittany, any other final thoughts? So you watched Buffy, right?
Yes.
Did you watch Angel too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I watched most of Angel. I fell out of it after a while.
See, that's worth
It
going
was-
back and finishing.
I
I
was
liked
thinking-
Angel just as much as Buffy.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same
when,
thing.
When he started having his kid, and his kid came back, and he was older, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
that's typical soap opera shit.
Well, I know they-
I don't think I
was
actually
so-
finished Angel after I
Really?
finished Buffy. I was like, I'm done.
Because I know they brought Buffy back on Angel
Yeah.
after Buffy was done.
And
So.
they ended Angel on a hell of a cliffhanger where it's them versus like all the night creatures of the fucking world.
Makes me wonder if
They continued it in the comic
yeah,
in
season,
Angel
season
after the
8
fall.
or-
No, not in the Buffy season 8.
Oh,
They
okay.
continued Buffy in that. They did Angel after the fall, which was from IDW, not
Bye,
from
Miss
Dark
Bond.
Horse.
That's, what's up, Miss Bond?
I
Um,
missed one.
But yeah, I mean, there were some other ones like that, like.
Oh, bye, Brady.
Later,
I
Brady
can't really
dear.
call Dollhouse horror either.
No, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
It had,
Eliza Dushku.
could have gone that way.
Mm-hmm.
That was
But it
another.
But it,
Joss Whedon.
Just
show.
we.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think we covered it,
We
guys.
exhausted a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we went through a massive amount there. So I think that's going to do it for this week's live stream. Thank you very much for watching. Marsha will not be here next weekend. She has other
Sorry.
business to attend.
More important
And
things.
I don't know if Brittany will be working or not. We'll see.
Brittany will probably be working.
Yeah.
See.
So we'll see what happens. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
Gracias, I've been having you fuego.
Marshburger.
And remember,
Stay
scared. Oh, I gotta get up and do it, don't I?
Yep.
You gotta do it.
Stuff was moving into
Oh
my
yeah,
way.
guys, and watch Tales from the Crypt. It's pretty awesome, by the way. Love Tales from the Crypt. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.